It's a pleasure and delight to welcome my special guests, Phil Hendriks and his daughter, Carla Cherrie Hendriks. A wonderful example of how musical talent runs in the family. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hiya.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Fantastic. I'm going to start with you, Phil. Now, you've had a really varied and exciting career, haven't you? And you started out by forming your own punk band back in school in the 70s, the Stiffs. So tell me all about that.
Well, we were 14 or 15 years old when we put the band together at school and wrote a few songs, and then the punk boom came along, and we thought, that's going to be a lot easier than what we were trying to do. Highway Star by Deep Purple and stuff like that. When we heard the Damned and the Ramones, we thought perhaps we could do a better job on that. So we rehearsed a lot and we wrote some songs, and by the end of 1979, we'd borrowed a few £100 off my dad to put a record out, pressed up 1,000 copies, and sent a couple to Radio 1, particularly Mike Reid and John Peel. Yeah,
John Peel, the late great John Peel, was a great fan of yours, wasn't he?
He was. He played that record to death. That was a song called Inside Out.
Yeah, didn't he say that was the greatest record in the history of the universe?
Well, he did. I do remember hearing him say it, but I've got no proof. So people think I've made it up.
Sounds great to me.
Yeah.
And when you were playing as well in those early days, you were so young, weren't you, that you couldn't even legally buy a pint.
No. We did buy some pints, but
legally,
not within the law.
Yeah, the letter of the law.
We were out playing gigs from 16, 17 years old. So, it's
fun times. So it was just something that you knew that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah, there was never any doubt in my mind what I wanted to do, and I told my careers master in the last couple of years at school when he asked me, "What do you want to do with your life, Hendriks? Which university do you want to go to?" That's what I want to be a rock star.
The University of Rock, sir.
Yeah. And I did say that to him, and he told me I was an idiot. He said, there isn't an Elvis Presley born every day.
Honestly, no encouragement. Goodness me. Well, no. You proved him wrong, because you've gone on and, you toured. You've done so much, actually, haven't you? You've toured the world. You toured firstly with Eric Faulkner's Bay City Rollers, and then more recently with poor old Les McKeown's Bay City Rollers. Poor Les, we must just mention.
Old Les.
Yeah, that must have been a great shock.
Well, Les passed away 3 weeks ago today. I'd spoken to him 10 days earlier, and he was just full of excitement about this 4 month tour that he was booking.
You had real plans, didn't you? And you were just waiting for things to start back again.
Oh, he was sounding really upbeat, and he was asking. We were trying to make sure if I was available for all his dates. And the next thing I know, bang, he'd gone. But I've got to thank him for 10 good years touring the world and playing a lot of places I'd never have dreamt of dreaming. I never have dreamt of playing at.
Yeah, tell me about some of those. Have you got sort of particular favourites?
Well, there was the O2 Arena for starters. There was a fabulous casino in Canada back in, I think it was 2013, where it was capacity 5,000 and it was sold out. And of course, Les had agreed to do a meet and greet after the show. And I don't think he anticipated that 5,000 people were going to come past, and we were.
That's a long line of fans, that is.
Because the rest of us were thinking, well, we can get a pint in 10 minutes, and then we sort the queue.
Did you manage to get through everybody?
They did, but then you started thinking, I've seen this person before. I think they were coming round again.
It's only 10 people, really. Sounds fantastic. And you're doing stuff with Philip Wright and the original 70s Paper Lace as well, aren't you?
Yes, I mean, we're not doing a whole lot at the minute.
Nothing at the minute,
but generally, I do work with Phil.
The idea is there.
Yeah, Phil's a great guy, and he's still got a great voice. And we went and toured Australia 3 years ago with Phil's Paper Lace. So it's a lot of exciting things haven't been happening.
Haven't happened. It's not happened for a while yet. It won't be long. It's all going to go back again. Phil said that when he first met you, you just really connected, and then he felt like he'd known you forever.
Well, he lied. No, we get on great, Phil and I. When we're together, we just laugh our heads off most of the time, and we can be uncouth to one another without taking offence.
As you do. Sounds like great fun. And Carla, it must have been lovely to grow up listening to your parents play, because I know that your mum also plays in a band, doesn't she? She's does a Blondie tribute too. So, how lovely for you to have that kind of childhood. What was that like?
Yeah, it was amazing, really. I think back at it, I always felt very different to everybody else at school. But now I look back at it, I think for good reason. My parents weren't doing the same old everybody else's were. And, I was able to experience things and meet people just back in the house after school. They'd be working on projects, and, I think I took it for granted a bit when I was younger, actually. But now I'm older, I feel, really, really lucky.
Yeah, totally blessed, really. I imagine your family is this kind of, punk, pop, rock, Von Trapp family vibe going on, where you just all sing to each other every day, good morning, would you like a piece of toast? Yeah. Was it like that?
Not quite.
Not far off, though.
It took me a while to find my confidence with singing. It's like quite a recent thing.
Really?
So, I definitely wasn't singing Good Morning for a very long time. It took me a while. I was a late developer with music, I think.
Well, you're absolutely brilliant at it. Congratulations on your 2 singles. I love it. And let's talk about those then. Your debut single, Astral Travel. I only needed to hear that song once before the chorus totally stuck in my head. And actually, it sounds like a really classic song as well. It's got that magic, hasn't it? And
Thank
your
you
vocal,
so
I just love it. Your vocal reminded me of Kim Wilde. That's what sort of struck me. And how did all of the, how did this song manifest itself?
Yeah, good question. I'm just trying to think back. It feels like it was so many worlds away.
Does it? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I suppose, with the lockdown, I retreated away from London and stayed with my parents. And I had a lot of time to think about what it was I actually really wanted to do, rather than just, slaving away at the 9-to-5 job like I had been. And I had time to write things and just sort of review the things that were going around my head. Yeah. And I suppose Astral Travel was born just from some notes on my iPhone, lyrics wise.
And did you chat to Dad about it then and sort of share?
Yeah. I just said, it's about time I did something with music, and I've got all the time in the world right now, and I really want to try it and see how it turns out. I gave my dad the lyrics, and he put together some sounds on the guitar, and then we just collaborated. And after hearing myself back, just from a few takes of, say, the first verse, I gained a little bit more confidence in my abilities with music, and it was a real sort of lockdown epiphany.
Oh, fantastic. It's a brilliant song. And let's talk about your latest song, Twisted. I totally love that riff. Did you come up with that, Phil?
Well, there's a family affair, really.
Yes.
Michelle and myself and Carla were all involved on that one. So, there were the riffs came from outer space.
Fantastic. Because it's a really dramatic song as well, isn't it?
Yes, I like a bit of drama sometimes. You can probably tell by looking at my hair and makeup.
Yeah, but I love your image. You just look amazing.
You.
Yeah, you're beautiful. You're a very good-looking family, aren't you, all of you?
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
So Twisted has done really well. Didn't you get to number 1 in one of the charts?
It was United DJs, yeah. So that was amazing, you know. Couldn't believe it when I found out. That was just what I needed, really, you know, to say, right, you're doing the right thing. People are enjoying this. And
absolutely.
Yeah, it's great.
So do you feel like there's a certain pressure then because of how the greatness of your father?
Yeah, I mean, I think we help each other and it's all very humble. Yeah, you know, my dad inspires what I do and helps me with what I do. And you know, I think we do completely different things as well. So I see it as sort of a fair playing field.
Absolutely, yeah. Phil, let's talk about your album, Radio Calling. I think it's a great album. It's received a lot of love, hasn't it? And most of the tracks you've written yourself, but there are a couple on there by other folk. Love Me Always was written by a really good friend of yours who sadly passed away too a few years back, Overend Watts. Tell me about that song.
Well, Overend, he wrote that song back in 1975 when Ian Hunter had left Mott the Hoople. The band decided to continue as Mott, but before they found a new singer, the songwriting duties fell to Overend, and that was a song that they had done a rough demo for in '75 when they were between singers, but it had never been used. So I'd heard this song and I just loved it. I could see why Mott hadn't done it because it was the wrong style for them, but I thought, well, if I can just beef this up a little bit, I think it's a winner. Because I've never felt like if I make an album that everything has to be my song. If there's a good song that I think people should hear, then let's have a go at it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, sharing. That's brilliant. And you've got a couple of Dave Philp numbers on there too, haven't you?
Again, Dave and I have been friends for 20 years, but he's one of the great unsung underdog heroes of songwriting to me. Dave wakes up in the morning, he's written 2 songs before he hits the bottom of the stairs.
Incredible.
and again, there were 2 songs that he effectively abandoned. I'd recorded them, but he hadn't used them on any albums. And I just thought, I can't leave these songs unheard. So I covered them. There's radio blaring out from a burning car.
Yeah.
And which Dave duets with me on. And If You Don't Know By Now, which is another great Spectre-ish pop rock song.
Yeah, brilliant tracks. Carla, have you got a favourite on the album?
Ooh, that's a tricky one.
I know.
He hates it.
No, I'm trying to...
You never heard it.
I don't know. I feel like it depends on my mood, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, I think Love Me Always is a really heartwarming song. But then I like... I just like a mixture. I can't choose one.
Everyone's
can't.
A winner.
I'm going to have to get the cover out and remind her what's on it.
Yeah, that's another thing as well. I'm like, which ones? Need to.
Well, I really like Even the Smart Ones Are Dumb. I think that's dead catchy. I reckon that's my favourite.
Well, that's my favourite too.
Okay, yay, hooray. Tell me about the UK collective, Phil.
Right, well, through the lockdown, I kind of spent most of the last 10 months pushing my album and trying to get airplay, trying to sell a few copies. And it turns out that a lot of people are doing the same thing. So just out of social media, we developed a relationship between, well, Dave Philpott, long been a friend of mine, but then Billy Brown, who's another great musician, and Neil Frost. We all started talking to each other, and we thought, well, what about the idea of helping one another to get radio play and helping each other with contacts? And that developed into recording together. So we've done this song "Daylight Robbery," which is a bit of a snipe about the way that streaming is going at the moment, and the fact that the artists are making virtually nothing because the streaming seems to be the format of the future.
It does. It's a shame, isn't it? I mean, you are making a really valid point, and I know artists like Gary Newman and Taylor Swift have highlighted it too. It is daylight robbery.
Well, it is. I mean, when someone streams your song, you know, if you're lucky, you get a third of a penny per stream. You know, and
it's not even a slice of bread, is it? That?
No, it's not even the butter.
It's not. It's not.
And all the major companies like iTunes and Amazon, who were selling MP3s, so when people would actually buy the MP3 at least, are now actively trying to steer people towards their streaming services as well. Obviously, somebody has come up with the idea, the business model, that it's better to just get people to pay 20 quid a month or whatever it is, than to buy people's product.
Yeah. Gone are the days of having something physical in your hands.
Well, it makes you wonder in a few years, you know, nobody will have any record collection. If, you know, is it going to be on a memory stick? Let's have a look at your record collection.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Don't lose the stick. Goodness me.
But it's not even going to be on the memory stick if people just keep streaming. This, you know, it's not. You don't even own it. No,
you're absolutely right. Well, you should tell us the best way to get hold of your music, Carla. How can we? Yeah, Carla. How would we get hold of your singles?
So they're on a variety of platforms, but we've recently discovered that Bandcamp is a really good page to go to, because they're actually fair, and you know, they pay you, you know, a decent amount compared to the other streaming services, and you can buy the music. So Bandcamp, I think, would be the most ideal.
So we can look for Carla Cherrie Hendriks on Bandcamp.
Yes.
And Phil, is that the same for you with those platforms?
Absolutely, yeah. As Carla said, I mean, we've realised that Bandcamp is the one place where you can actually get them.
Yeah.
Let me stop short of saying where you can make money.
Well, you know, you do need to. This is your livelihood, so it's fair.
Well, not out of greed, just because of your work. You know, you work hard.
Yeah, and you know, you're respected musicians, so it's only fair and true and right, I think. Let's think about the future. What's on the horizon? Carla, are we going to see you do some live gigs?
I really hope so. Yeah, I have one penciled in already.
Ooh, tell me about it.
It's only the one. Well, one of my best friends, she's a spoken word artist and poet, and she's releasing. Well, she's actually got a book out, a poetry book to purchase at the moment, and she's asked me to perform at her book launch night, which is very exciting. Where there'll be physical copies there, and it's in London. At Brewdog. So
Great.
In the basement of a chain brewery, basically.
Yeah.
But it's a good space, you know, very trendy, lots of interesting people in the area in Dalston. So yeah, that will be my first gig. But then I suppose we'll just have to see, you know, how it goes with COVID and work from there.
So Phil, are you playing then in the band?
Well, I mean, I think Carla's just going to do that one solo. Because
really?
Obviously, putting a band together.
Could you do acoustic though?
She could go unplugged.
It could, yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, people have suggested that, but I do think with my songs they sound better with that.
I know what you mean. Yeah, with all the whole drama and everything, you can have all that kind of theatrical spectacle.
That's it.
Brilliant. And Phil, what are your plans?
Well, I hope to get back to gigging as soon as possible. The next thing that I've got that's definitely supposed to be happening, I've said this before.
That's what we've been hearing a lot. Yeah.
is a show at the Indigo at the O2 with playing guitar for Merrill Osmond. Of course, you won't remember. You're probably too young to remember Merrill.
Tell me about Merrill. Let's learn about Merrill.
Well, Merrill was people commonly believe that Donny Osmond was the lead singer of the Osmonds. Of course, Donny Osmond had a separate career, but he was also a member of the Osmonds band. But the lead singer of the Osmonds band was Merrill Osmond. Right.
Oh, cool.
So Merrill is touring later in the year with his own show, and he's doing this show in the Indigo at the O2 on the 12th of June, and that's going to be a live internet pay-to-view stream as well. So it's we did one in November and it was quite successful. So Merrill obviously thought it's worth doing another one.
Sounds fantastic. Great stuff. Well, not long now then. Definitely, hopefully, maybe, get those dates and best of luck with both of them. And I can't wait to come and see you both play. It'd be brilliant.
Well, I hope it's not too long.
I know. I don't think it will be now. I think it's onwards and upwards. Everything's going to just be fine, isn't it?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well,
let's go that way.
Yeah, that's it. Everything is groovy. It's been such a pleasure and delight to meet the pair of you. Is this your first daddy-daughter interview?
It is.
First time we've spoken to each other.
I haven't spoken in 2 months.
Do you know what? I bet you really miss her now, because you went back, didn't you, over that furlough period, as you were saying. I bet you really, miss your daughter being around the house. And
well, she's been here for a year, and she's become a fabulous chef as well. So
you're missing the nosh.
Yeah. If the music goes down the drain, I'll be in the kitchen.
You can always open a restaurant. That will not happen. You've got a really bright future ahead. You've got an amazing image. You've got a great vocal and some brilliant ideas and a plethora of amazing musicians surrounding you. So thank you so much, Phil and Carla Cherrie, and all the very best.
Thank you so much. It's been lovely.
Thanks very much.
All right.
Pleasure.
Thanks.